All right, so for our first example, we have a customer at a store paid $12 for 2 large churros and $3 and 3 small churros. At the same store, the second customer paid $8 more than the first customer for 6 large churros and 1 small one. The price of each large churro is the same, and the price of each small one is the same. Which system of equations can be used to find, there's a typo, the price in dollars of each large churro, X, and each small churro, Y? So the very first thing we're going to do is actually annotate this so we know that what the variables represent. And then, of course, we have the information that is given within these sentences. And then just to keep it as simple as possible, we know that X here represents the large churros. And we also know that the Y represents the small churros. And then we're just going to go based off of like the sentence. So there's nothing else added. We don't know how much each of them cost. All we know is the total that was spent to have bought like the 2 different sizes. So if I look at my first sentence, we know that the first customer, write that down, paid $12. So they paid $12 for 2 large churros. So we know that large churros here represents X. And then we know, so 2 large churros, so that's X, and 3 small churros, and the small ones represents Y. So plus 3Y. All right, so we have our first equation. Changing the color here. Then we have at the same store, the second customer. So now we're looking at second customer. It's a pretty color. Paid $8 more so than the first customer. So the first customer's paid $12. Then we got to do 12 plus 8. So that's 20. That's $20. So he paid a total of $20 for 6 large churros. So this is still X. And 1 small churro, 1Y. So now that we have our 2 equations, there's nothing else that we need to address. Now we just look to find our correct answer. So we see here that it is not A, it's not B, and the reason is mainly because of how that's written. And so we see here that it's 12 and 20. This has a 12 and that has a 4, so it's definitely not this one. We have 2X, 3Y, good, and then X and Y. So C here ends up being our answer.